I want to make a few comments. John Baines posted 15 ideas on the Fair Budget for Fairport Schools Facebook page. The ideas are worth prioritizing, investigating, and deciding which ones are doable. These ideas all nibble around the edges of the economic conundrum and the challenge that's before the district and the taxpayers, the teachers, and all the students who showed up tonight. But I don't believe that they address the systemic, structural, economic dilemma we have today. It's been in the private sector for 20 years, and it's showing up in the public sector now. Not one of the ideas suggested includes all the stakeholders sharing in the pain. I hear the students are being victimized by what's happening, and I hear the teachers saying we got to keep the programs. But I don't think we're all sharing in the pain. So it's noteworthy that I will offer some ideas that involve all the stakeholders sharing in the pain. Because in fact, John Baines suggested 3 years ago, when there was a budget crisis, that one of his 3 or 4 items was, we need to share in the pain. Well, here's my proposal, sharing in the pain. Freeze all central administration salaries at the central office and have all employees there pay more of their health care costs like everyone else in the private sector. Have all the bargaining units, school principals, teachers, bus transportation, whoever else are the bargaining units, offer to freeze their salaries and pay more of the health care cost. Then we can take these savings and use them to restore the most critical programs, because I hear the students saying one class changes one person's life. If that is a premise that we all believe in, then we all should share in the pain. Next, let's change the focus in the classroom from the adult to the kids through education reform. It's an intermediate to long-term goal. Why don't we take the energy, have the local teachers union ask their brothers and sisters in the New York State United Teachers leadership to request the state legislators to repeal the Triborough Agreement, the major obstacle to putting kids first. The Triborough Agreement, if you're not familiar with it, requires the current union contract to remain in force until a new contract is agreed upon. The status quo prevails, and clawbacks of any compensation structure rewarding longevity and health care costs are almost impossible to obtain. The property tax cap has actually transformed the Triborough Agreement from an asset to a liability for bargaining units. The state is broke. Governor Cuomo asked the state employees to accept a wage freeze or endure major layoffs. That's what's occurring here. I don't know how it's what, 37, there's 50, 6%. What did the union finally decide? They chose a wage freeze. The federal stimulus education grants, all those wonderful things from the government, kick the can down the road. And the solution is not more state aid. There's no money. Shared sacrifice. The rules of engagement have changed, whether we like it or not. We need to change rapidly to meet the new reality of the public sector challenges. Social networking and the teachers union are stirring the pot. The pain will get greater, but the outcome will be better once the system focuses not on the adults, but the kids in the classroom. Why should we be laying off incredible teachers and staff because the union wants to be Lucifer? The energy put into the fair budget for Fairport schools is a tactic that means that we're demonizing others, trying to create chaos, posting data to produce misinformation of the total picture, justifying the ends, which is restoring the programs with no sacrifice on everybody's part. The myth that the problem with the school budget is that all the money goes to the teacher salary, which is posted, is chaos, creating a mischievously misinforming the public on what the real issue is. The real issue is total compensation. Compensation which includes higher health care costs. The school district is contributing a tremendous amount of money. I know it's $3-4 million towards the state retirement fund. They didn't do that 2 or 3 years ago. So when somebody says, well, the teacher's salary is a lower percentage of the budget, that's putting out misinformation because it's total compensation. It's all the work rules that you have. It's all of the other issues that has to do with you have a health savings account. All these other things that you get. It's total compensation, not salaries. Jim Murrow, a former student here, came specifically as to what I think the key situation should be. Today's students can't afford to have nothing, and they can't start from nothing. Music, photography, religion, all knowledge-based courses, or as they say in the corporate world, competitive advantage that provides critical thinking or the ability to reason from multiple perspectives. So I don't think that there has been a real way of cutting programs. It looks like what you've done, the programs have been cut so that everybody gets hit, so then everybody feels the pain. In reality, what it is, we ought to be more strategic as to what should be cut. A parent shared with me that her son was academically challenged, but when he was participating in elementary orchestra, the electrical disconnections in the brain connected, and he was a successful student. The premise is, do we want to be a contributing factor to the draconian cuts in critical programs, or do we want to be a contributing factor to the restoration of critical programs? That's the challenge here. The shortcut is not to ask the taxpayer to approve a budget exceeding the cap, blaming the politicians for unfunded mandates and not enough state aid, or telling us that you've been victimized by the federal government and state government because they put all this stuff on you. Guess what? Same thing happens in the private industry, and they somehow are able to handle it. No school district will ever be able to significantly slow the growth of employee compensation unless the tri-borough agreement is reformed. Our long-term focus should be focused on the tri-borough, not asking for more state aid. Everyone needs to be a real leader, to stop doing things that are not in the best interest of the kids and make a positive contribution to an effective, quality learning experience in a caring Fairport school system. Thank you.